time to do the ping to let people know that I am live. Light themes, I've got a bit more light. It's something, I suppose. Refresh. Live stream link. Actually, what I should do, move that in a new tab instead, so that way there is no disruption. I'll explain that in just a moment. So, hello everyone, which is not good. Live now. 175 people are in the server. Oh my god. There we go. So we'll wait for everybody to come on in. Hello, TN Studios. Everyone's starting to slowly make their way over. So this is a very, well, not a very different, but a slightly different live stream for today because, as you know, it is Friday, not Saturday. These live streams are supposed to take place on Saturday nights, but as per some more rearrangements with work, I've decided to, instead of delay this for another few weeks, I'm doing it tonight because next week I'm not going to be able to. Next weekend I'm very specifically otherwise occupied. I don't want to really say why, but it's basically personal stuff's going on. And instead of, again, this weekly show that's supposed to be weekly isn't going very weekly. It's a bit more of a bi-weekly, fortnightly, maybe even monthly if I'm not careful. But yeah, so I thought I'd do one tonight instead of having everybody wait, because I'm actually really disappointed in myself because I wanted this to be weekly, and this is only my third live stream. Oh, I'm not doing myself any favors. Right, I have my list of stream notes up as always. God, so good to do this. We have some people coming in. Hello, hello. I can see the live viewer counter slowly propping up. That's good. Right, let's go over to the state of this one. One thing I want to quickly get out of the way is earlier today in the afternoon, about 4 hours ago more so, one of my Discord mods sent a message in regards to the current conflict with Ukraine and Russia. More so, he said he's quite surprised how nobody in the server has made such a comment. And I like to believe it's because people were respecting the rule about no politics. But given the situation, if you wanted to say, I'm hoping that people in Ukraine are doing okay and so forth, then I would perfectly be okay with that. But it's definitely worth addressing and acknowledging that this is something that's going on in the real world. This is the world we live in after all. And it's scary to think something like this is going on. I'm not a political person. I do have political opinions. Everybody has political opinions. But this stream is not going to be about such a conflict. It's just me addressing this to say, again, I'm aware this is going on, and I'm very sorry to hear that innocent lives are being killed. You know, there's no other way of saying it. There are people dying because of such things going on. And I can only hope that the people of Ukraine are doing okay. So that is something I wanted to address straight away. Now then, I was saying that whilst I was holding my breath. I do apologize. It's something that's a very change in tone, but at the same time you can understand why. You know, this isn't really a channel that would focus on such a thing. I did see chat appear earlier. So as always, I'm recording this live on my tablet. I have my YouTube live stream actually open on my computer monitor. So if there's every time I look up at you, that's the camera. If I'm looking down like this, I'm looking back at the stream, and that's mainly because of the live chat. Alex the Train Lover, hello, how was your day? My day was very busy. Let me tell you something. So, this morning, I waited in our living room hoping the postman would arrive. And the postman did arrive, but it was about an hour or so later than they normally do for the area that I live in, about an hour and a half even. And I got a bit fed up because it got to like midday and I thought, you know what, sod this. I've had breakfast, but I haven't had my shower yet. I'm just going to go have my shower. If he shows up, like, as I'm otherwise, you know, busy somewhere else, then fine, whatever. Because with the postal service I'm waiting for, Royal Mail, they leave these little red slips rather, to say, yeah, you know, you knocked on the door, but you weren't in. And thankfully, 4 of the 5 items that were delivered for me today actually got through. These were Bricklink orders, and they come in these sort of thick envelopes, like what do you call it? Like jiffy bags? I think that's what they're called. But I was able to basically get most of what I needed today, pretty easily. I've only got one that I've missed. I'm hoping for one more to arrive tomorrow because I got the card. I now know which order it is because I looked on Bricklink. There's only 2 left to arrive. So yeah, that should be a good thing to get tomorrow and hopefully finish the coaches. That's Niagara guy and Josh. Hello, Josh. You made it. Lovely to see you as always, my good friend. I'll tell you what. Speaking of the coaches, I want to try something a bit risky. Risky in the sense I don't want to drop the camera. So there we go. 5 more coronation coaches are being built. That is basically the rest of the express, and that is taking up a lot of parts and money. One thing that is really bad with those orders and those coaches is that because it's a fairly big item, I'm having to make numerous orders from a bunch of different stores to make sure I got all the parts in, because one store can have some of the parts I'll need, but not enough. So spreading out these orders through numerous stores, it's not bad. I mean, I've done that before, loads of times, in fact. But it's so frustrating, and something I've said plenty of times in the past, I'm a very impatient person. So the fact that no orders came on Thursday was actually really frustrating because I want to get these done for goodness sakes. Oh man, but yeah, we're almost done. Again, last 2 orders are going to be arriving tomorrow, so that's going to be lovely stuff. I have with me, so one thing I've showed previously were these drawers, which I keep some certain parts in. 1x6 red plates. That was full this afternoon. All gone already. That is not, that's just not good. Another thing I've been doing today, because of how busy today has been, in some of those orders that arrived were some windows. These, and let me remove these ones because this does not include these ones. For these bigger windows, these have been spray painted in red. Ooh, heresy, I know, right? This isn't the first time I've done this. So these are spare windows I've painted red, so if for any reason I want to make my life even worse and build another coach, I suppose I've got some windows for it. But yes, buying red windows is stupidly expensive. Actual Lego ones on Bricklink cost so much money, and there is a company a company in Germany called Blue Bricks. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the same company I bought the Eurostar sets from, and they have these sort of windows in bulk, which is really cool. But currently they're out of stock. Again, I'm impatient. I ain't waiting. I'd rather commit some heresy. That Niagara game saying that's such a shame. Well, it's not too bad. Here's the thing. These are purple windows, which came from an old Harry Potter night bus set. And I had 1 set's worth because I had the set previously in the past. So I was able to kind of use some of those. But whilst that's a fair quantity, I didn't have enough, obviously, because, 5 coaches, I'm going to need loads of these. I went on to Bricklink, and there was a guy who was selling these frames, again, in purple, like 2 pence each. But they were heavily discolored. So, perfect. They're already discolored. There's no, it's not as bad to paint something that's already yellowed and left out in the sun and completely ruined. So, yeah, I'm alright with it. Again, this is me, who's someone who has painted and modified a few bricks in the past. So, I'm okay with that kind of blasphemy. He also says, I was going to say, if I may ask, how do you say it's Niagara Falls? Okay. So is it Niagara or Niagara? Because you corrected me on this in the past, and you said I said it in a weird way. So is it Niagara or Niagara because of that extra A? You'll have to let me know in the chat as that catches up. RK is here, and he says mayonnaise. I don't think actually I was gonna say something stupid. I don't think I've ever tried mayonnaise. Yes, I have. I just haven't had it in a while. Oh, like a chicken mayo sandwich. That's some of the best stuff. It's like Niagara Falls. Okay, so that's Niagara guy. There we go. Going forward, I have been corrected before. Like again, you have said to me you pronounce it this way, but I think it's because I'm reading it and saying it out loud at the same time. So yeah, there we go. Onwards, right. My notes. There's something in particular I'm very keen to talk about. Nerf. Nerf stuff. Yeah, you know those Nerf blasters, those good old toys and videos that I did in the past. I need to go to my Discord server and have a look at my Nerf chat. So one of my other Discord moderators, Jolt King, has put in the Discord server in the Nerf chat there's been some leaks, and this is very exciting. So, oh, pardon me. So I'm currently now looking at my PC monitor screen. I'm also, again, on my server looking at this image. And there seems to be a new Elite 2.0 blaster. It is a bullpup flywheel blaster. Most likely it's going to be semi-automatic. But it seems to have an integrated shotgun of sorts. If you go to the top right of the box packaging, it looks like there's 6 darts being shot out. I don't know if that's just, it holds 6 darts or if it's just exaggerating. I need to try and find a closer look at that, like a cleaner image. But this looks so good. I am absolutely going to be buying one of these. I am hoping there's a bit of tactical potential. I can see a rail on the top, one on the side. Maybe there's a barrel extension point. I can't see because, again, of the packaging. I don't think there is. I wouldn't blame so if there wasn't, because that's already a very long barrel. My god, that looks like a good blast. That's a good blaster. I am keen for that. Just to quickly catch up with chat, everyone's going over the pronunciations again. Imagine Blue Arthur. Blue Arthur is Bell. Yeah, Blue Arthur. Blue Arthur is basically Bell. Bell is a little bit longer in the sense that she has 2 extra trailing wheels, but they're near enough the same shape and design of locomotive. So yeah, Blue Arthur, you may as well look at Bell. Okay, back to the Nerf stuff real quick, because if I need to go to my schedule as well, because there are some Nerf videos I had written down. So I'm going to be doing a video in regards to Nerf content. I haven't currently looked up when my last Nerf video actually went up. Should I have a look? Yeah, we like doing stuff live on stream. Here we go. I'm going to do this right now. Oh, I need to... Oh, never mind. As you can see the light coming from the monitor, you can see that I already have the day setting activated. Very good. If I need to filter visibility public, so that way I'm not going through all the private videos I have as well. When was the last Nerf video uploaded on my channel? Because this is something I'm going to do a video of Triton's Tales of. So to anybody who doesn't know what the Triton's Tales series is, it's basically just me talking about a certain topic for about 10 minutes or so. It's like a mini podcast. I asked in the past if anybody was interested in me doing my own podcast of sorts, but I kind of already have it in the form of Triton's Tales. Again, it's only like 10 or so minutes long, but it's it's good. That's all I need. Okay, October 19th seems to be the last Nerf video uploaded. Just going through all that again. Yeah, that was the last one, and it was a review for the Alpha Strike Fang, which is a very lovely blaster, very good for a very cheap price. Oh, pardon me again, had dinner recently, and that seems to be not sitting too well. But yes, I need to address Nerf content going forward, because I would like to do some more Nerf stuff. Again, I have combos planned. The combos for the Phoenix, the Elite 2.0 Phoenix, that's something I need to do. This new Elite 2.0 blaster that seems to be coming out, that has enough interest for me to go and get it. Some of the previous Elite 2.0 blasters that came out recently, that revolver sniper rifle one, that looks good, but ultimately not my sort of thing. I think if it was magazine fed, I'd have more interest, but at the same time, it's an extra blaster that's just going to sit to the side. Literally, I've still got the boxes right here next to me, and once all this coach stuff is done, I think I'm going to have a lot of downtime, because I don't actually have that many more LEGO projects left to get on with. I have the new version of the Emerald Champion to build, of course, but besides that, I can use the gap between 2 LEGO projects to get on with some Nerf stuff. So new blaster, that'd be cool. A new combos video, sure. But then, I did a poll in regards to Nerf content, and I said to people, okay, I'm not going to have any new reviews up for a while. There's nothing new for me to really talk about because news in the hobby is slow. There's nothing for me to really go over or do. For now, I'm basically complete when it comes to Nerf content. So just to kind of, I don't know, fill the gap, I suppose, how about I go back and redo some combos videos from the past? And I mean some proper early, like the first ones in the series. Not all of them. I'll be picking out a select few, some of the flywheelers basically. But that was at a point where I only had a few, not a few, but fewer attachments than to what I have now. So the combos can be up to date, they could be better, you know, just a bit more intriguing altogether. And surprisingly, when I made the poll, people weren't interested. I said, do you want to see these kind of videos? Yes or no? No was the larger vote. So that's going to be interesting. Do I go ahead with these combos videos, knowing that the people who took part in the poll aren't really that interested in them? Or do I actually make them and get Nerf videos out there, even though the poll result does speak for itself? So it's a bit interesting. I could ultimately just leave them be, but I've still got them written down because it's good to have it at least on standby, you know? So the blasters in particular will be the Stampede, the Rapid Strike, the Regulator, which itself is its own little quirky thing because I think it was on my first stream. I actually showed what my now customized regulator looks like. I think in that case I might have just scrapped the regulator combos revisited because the shell is now different. So I might actually have to, let me take that off the list right now because that technically can no longer work. So that Stampede, Rapid Strike, the Modulus, the Strife, and the Evader. These are 5 very cool blasters, and I think by the time of the Strife and the Evader, I had a fair whack of attachments. Again, not as much as I have now, but the whole point is now that I've got a bit more in my arsenal, I could definitely go back and touch them up and make them just look a little bit more better. It would be interesting to see what would actually come out of these, and I might give these a go anyway, but I'm a bit concerned because, yes, it's more Nerf content again, but at the same time, the poll result did say not enough people are too interested. But I suppose we'll let time kind of mend that wound, I suppose. Okay then, so that is that point done. Nerf leaks, check. Let's have another catch up with chat to make sure I haven't missed too much. RK with 2 questions. Dank memes or spicy memes? Aren't they basically the same? Memes are memes, you know? And he also asked, Luke, have you ever considered making a Lego mock of Fergus? Yes. In the early days when I was making my Thomas characters, I had a list of Thomas characters I would like to make. But I think it only included some small characters. Yeah, obviously thinking like Fergus, Glyn, I can't remember any other ones off the top of my head, but you know, characters that are just really small, simple, and basic. And I think that was because I wasn't too sure how well I was going to actually make proper characters. But looking at Spencer and Gordon Spencer, that's something to show you. Anyway, but thinking of, again, all the other models I've made, I've definitely been able to capture the shapes properly of characters. And I think as we go on, more characters are going to be built. More narrow gauge characters, definitely. I think Fergus may inevitably happen. Glyn, well, yeah, Glyn would be interesting because I did a coffee pots mock in the past. I think that, I don't know if that video has been privated, but I made a coffee pot Loco in the past because when I first saw Glyn, I thought, oh, yeah, let's make one. But I think giving it another go would definitely be the thing to do. It'd be nice to have Glyn and Stevenson's rocket next to each other as well. That'd be really cool. But yes, now then, having mentioned Thomas characters, Spencer in particular, if you haven't seen this on my Discord server, I strongly recommend you head over there before I quickly spoil something very special for you. This will be about 20 seconds. I got to do a bit of tiptoeing. There we go. It wasn't too long ago where I said I didn't really want to do spoilery stuff. Oh, but now, who cares? Okay then. Are we ready? Da 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 da! It's Spencer. He's been built. Look at that. I get the tender. Hang on. Yeah. Look at that. So this took me like 2 days? No, this was all done in one day. This was done in one day. The second day was a bit of touching up, and then there was today, which is technically like the third day of building, because one of the bricklink orders that arrived today were these top slope bricks along here for the finalized look. Spencer, well, I say Spencer, the boiler took about between 7 and 8 hours. I want to say around 7 hours, something like that. But because it's an LNER A4, it is tricky to get right, most notably the area around the wheels. I have made a version of Mallard in the past, and it's the valances, which is what actually covers the wheels. That was what was really tricky, because how do you cover the wheels and have drive gears still? So, you know, eventually I didn't like that model and scrapped it. This version of the A4, where the wheels are open, it looks so good. I'm really, really happy with this because it looks so free. Oh, pardon me again. My goodness, I'm so sorry. Posted this online, and some people said to me, how do you do this bit? I'm pretty sure I addressed this in the video. Um, Speaking of video, no, never mind. Ignore that bit. I haven't recorded the video for this yet. I'm just a bit too busy. Okay. So I will address this in the video. So there is a natural flexibility with 1x2 bricks. You'll see this better again in its actual showcase video, but that's how you can create such a look. And I'm so glad it worked this well. There won't be a face for the fronts because toy faces are going to be way too small. And just keeping it like this means I have an A4 to run with. You don't necessarily need to look at this and go, oh, it's Spencer, just because it has the face. Like this, you can still see it as an A4. Lovely stuff. Right, I'm actually going to have to put this back now because I can't just bounce it around here. Going for another trip. Hang on. Come on, you. There we go. Might need this. Oh, oh. There's too much stuff everywhere. Nearly knocked something over. Goodness, what is this? Oh, here we go. Right. Oh, deep breath. Time for a quick drink. There we go. Lovely. Still not sponsored. Still waiting for the day. Right. Have another look at chat. Niagara guy says, could you maybe do Hank? Hank is an interesting one. I think this is a similar case with like Glyn and Fergus, or Fergus, I should say. The amount of Thomas characters I've already got is enough to fill one of the crates I use for my layout. And as time goes on, eventually I'm going to want to stop making Thomas characters. I think I'm nearly at that point anyways. Spencer is definitely one of the last ones on the list. There are a few other ones that I am a bit interested in. Bill and Ben seem quite interesting to do. I need to make another 812 to basically have Donald and Douglas. It'd definitely be wise to do that if I'm going to have Bill and Ben. Again, some more narrow gauge characters and maybe some more obscure ones. So something like Hank, I don't really know. It's probably too obscure for me to want to make. But I'm not going to say yes to it because I don't think I ever see myself doing it. The locomotive itself probably does look interesting enough to do, and I think surely somebody out there has made that locomotive, not necessarily as Hank, but that shape exists in Lego form. I suppose you just have to do a bit of research for it. It's a shame that Hank is another one of the characters that just showed up for one episode. But yeah. Right, going back to the notes. New videos to record is the next point on my So So, well, I kind of basically just covered that. I've got nothing new to upload at the moment. The video that I uploaded today was the coaches for the Stevenson's Rockets, and that has already seen a bit of popularity. Again, that's only today's video, so I still got a while before I have to put up the next video. And yeah, those coaches in particular, well, they're in the box, so I can't grab anything else, sadly. But those coaches in particular look so amazing. I mean, they're so compact, and yet there's so much going on to them. Those coaches, basically, despite the fact I have like 10 Coronation coaches now, the Stevenson's Rocket ones might just be my all-time favorite pieces of rolling stock that I've ever built. I love it. Absolutely love them. So yeah, there is that. I saw something else appear in the chat. Hank is a K4 and people have made a K4. Oh, there we go. That's one thing. And what about Hero? Hero could be good. Again, I'd have to think about how many more characters I actually want to make. So suggesting near enough every character in the Thomas library, that's not something worth doing, because 90% of them will be, nah, not interested. But some of them, again, will have enough interest for me to want to do them. Some of them might not even happen despite me saying I'm interested. But we'll have to just carry on from there. Oh, no, hang on. My stream's buffering. I need this to work. Come on. Okay, there we go. That was a bit freaky. And chat is still there. Ah, okay, we're good. I thought for a moment I just lost internet, but thankfully we haven't. It's just chat decided to be a bit silly. So we got that one. Yes, I may as well get rid of that one too, because that was basically previously mentioned. So new videos record. Okay, next point to talk about is the LUKR Awards. They are technically still going at the time of me making this stream. Let me go back over to my server to make sure I got all the details correct. It's train mocks. We have to do a bit of scrolling, quite the bit of scrolling. So the LUKR Awards is something I have brought up previously. It is the kind of stand-in for the overall Brick Train Awards, which will be taking place later on in the year. The LUKR Awards is just for British train builders, and it is something that has spanned over the month of February. So today is February 25th. You have until the end of February 28th to get your submissions in. The details for the LUKR Awards will be put into the chat now. I'll just put that in there. So if you are a UK-based LEGO train builder, I do strongly recommend that you get your models entered into this competition. I'm not someone who ever wins competitions, but I, for one, still believe it's always worth entering, because you always do have the chance of winning. It's going to be absolutely excellent to see the other entries that come out over social media as well. We've had dozens upon dozens of entries, and it has been amazing to see what people have been able to create. Oh my goodness. Every 5 minutes I'm bringing up wind. I'm so sorry. It's so unprofessional. But yes, the LUKR Awards are just wonderful, and I love that the club has been able to do this. The LUKR has gained a few new members recently, thanks to yours truly. I was able to basically make that post on Discord, and I don't know if it was Discord and YouTube, but I definitely made basically an advertisement for the club, and a few people were interested. I was able to speak to someone in my LEGO user group as well. I said to him, you amazingly recognize me from YouTube, which is quite bizarre, and you primarily build train stuff. What do you say to joining the club? After a bit of back and forth, he was convinced. He joined the club, and it's amazing to be able to kind of directly see new members join in. So I will also kind of make that advertisement here and now. If you are based in the UK, if you enjoy Lego, you like trains, and you primarily build Lego train related stuff, the LUKR is an amazing home for you. We again primarily do railway and train related models, and there is a bit more lenience in terms of what you can do compared to what you could not really get away with in official lugs. We are more welcoming to third party and customized parts. We're not quite encouraging modified parts, but we can understand it in some cases if you're trying to achieve a certain look for a model. But ultimately, if you are British and you like Lego trains, the LUKR is waiting for you. We would absolutely love to have you in. And the details for that are also on the LUKR website. So if you follow the link that was mentioned in the chats earlier, you can find out about the membership details on the website. So it's definitely worth always having a look there. I'm going to keep that one kept on the stream notes though. Rather surprisingly, this is the first. Well, this isn't exactly a big thing to go crazy about, but this is the first live stream where I've covered all of my notes, which is a bit bizarre because the last two times I did this, I had loads of notes to talk about. So there is one more thing before the notes actually completely wipe out. I've been thinking about more things to do with these live streams. And Knackle Electric, hello, good evening from Norway. Hello, hello. Ah, yes, you are based over in the Norway lands. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm sorry, but I do remember you talking about you being from Norway. I think this was in the Discord server where you said about a certain locomotive you're trying to build. I was like, what's the basis? It's a Norway loco. Ah. So that's where that kind of sparks that from. RK also says, Luke, are you planning on building an overhead coal hopper and chutes for your railway? I have. I actually have done that. Let's see if I can find it. So just before I carry on with what I was just mentioning, let's actually get this bit. Oh, hang on, I need to go into the playlists because it is there, and this is part of my goods yard, and that is a kind of section that got condensed down, so now it looks so much better. Come on, where's my? I know I haven't done anything with the layout in a while, but where's the playlist? Reconstruction, narrow gauge, rolling stock, locos, shows. Where's the layout playlist? What is this? There it is. That's way far down. Okay, let me try and... There we go. So copy. I'll put that into the chat link now. There we go. So that is my involvement, or rather my take, on an overhead coal hopper for my layout. It's not the cleanest thing ever. It's a very basic looking hopper. But the idea is that hopper wagons would show up to this part of the layout, empty out, and these conveyor belts would take the actual coal inwards and kind of have it stored up ready to go within the hopper itself. A grander design was in mind, but this is all I can really do for now. So yeah, there is that. An electric. Well, I'm on a skiing in the Norwegian mountains. I'm from Sweden, so you are skiing. That must be a very thrilling experience. Like, I've never done anything like ice skating, let alone go snowboarding or skiing. I suppose that's something you're a bit more used to given where you currently are located. But for me, on a skiing vacation, okay. But yeah, I think for me, I probably do one like skiing once. I'd be like, yep, okay, I'm done. I'm definitely not built for kind of high action, thrilling sort of things like skiing. I did skateboarding for like a week when I was a kid, and I found that to be too much. So top man on doing some skiing, fair play. Well done. What was I talking about earlier before that all happened? Ah, yes, stream ideas. So back to what we were talking about 5 minutes ago. Bit of a mess, but oh well. So other things I want to do for streams. I mean, this is nice, and I would like to try and keep up with this. But in time, I would like to try and do something else. But what could I do? It would be interesting to try and do something a bit more interactive, so to say. And whilst, talking with chat is one thing, you kind of influencing something that's happening on the stream is something else. And because I have a whole Lego train layout, maybe one day we could figure out a way of me just having a loop of track on the floor. I'll get some trains running, and then members in chat can say, let's have this loco next. And it's basically between 30 minutes and an hour of you picking and choosing what trains you want to see running. And that's something that could definitely work. I mean, we could definitely pick some quirky rolling stock as well. So you could say, okay, let's have Gordon, Coronation Coach, Metrolino Coach, 3 trucks, Stevenson's Rocket Coach, and then Tanker. It's something that could work, I suppose. But yeah, I would love to try and see some crazy sort of, well, maybe not crazy, but I could definitely get crazy. But a live running session, live stream, basically, that would be something I would love to try and do in the future. I I have the space for it, but I want to make sure it's done a bit more properly. That's all. 2 running lines would definitely have to happen. Um, but one thing I would want to do is get another circle's worth of R56 curves, so I can comfortably get a half circle of R56 curves and use that for a loop. And in turn, I could have some R40s on the inside, and that's 2 running lines basically. Um, I would definitely have to find the appropriate time to get the track in the first place. And of course, setting up such a live stream would take all day. It's not an easy thing for me to say, okay, I'm going to get all the track out, I'm going to get the engines out, because I have to move boxes, I have to get out certain items. I'm going to have to, well, even then, that's probably at least 3 boxes because the coronation coaches are in one box. Even then, I have plans to make a separate box, as in, like, make a box from scratch for the full dedicated express. Obviously, I got my trains in one box, the Thomas characters are in one box. Um, the rolling stock, that's all in another box, so that's just 4. Uh, so yeah, again, it can work, but I know that are going to be a big day ahead of me. I'm going to be spending the morning and plenty of time in the afternoon getting everything set up and deciding as well, okay, which trains do I want to actually have active for this stream? Because if people go, I want to see the 9F, I want to see Henry, I want to see Gordon, I want to see the Hogwarts Express, I want to see Smokey Joe, and I have to go back and forth and unpack and repack all of the trains, it's going to get a bit tedious, and that's something that can't happen. So some control and some limitations will be there. An Electric back in the chat saying, a YouTuber I used to watch made a system where his Twitch viewers could say commands in the chat and a bot would deliver it to the trains. I am not smart enough to do that. I could never get that to work on my own. And I think that's more of a Twitch thing. I don't know if YouTube would. Does YouTube streaming services have bots? I don't know if they do. I've never seen it, at least. But that would be interesting to see. If you can link the streamer or the YouTuber rather, that had that ability to do so, because that would be quite interesting to see. Because if he's still going on Twitch, I'd love to be able to try and tune in and kind of attempt some of those commands myself. Yeah. But the reason why I say I could never do so myself is when I came to Discord, one of my servers, Jolt King, he basically set up all of the bots that we see on the channel, in the server, I should say. Like when you clicked on a role and you want to have a certain role for your user, he's the one who sets that up because that's all done through a bot. All the music bots, basically anything that requires any kind of automation, he knows how to do it because he's so experienced with Discord. I believe so, but it's not that common. Yeah, fair enough then. Again, it would make sense if there was, but at the same time, makes sense that you just don't see them. I think YouTube, well, that's something to talk about. YouTube is definitely more switched on than Twitch. Twitch banning their streamers, and all that sort of jazz. I don't know if you saw the news not too long ago with Disguised Toast and Pokimane, just to name a few streamers that got banned. I'm not someone who tunes into Twitch, but that sort of news does get around. But yeah, I mean, Twitch bots is definitely something that you will probably see more prevalence in compared to YouTube, because YouTube could go, well, maybe not go and do the certain thing, but you definitely get the sense that YouTube wouldn't have that many bots because they're a lot more careful with how people kind of interact in a way. It's a bit difficult for me to describe, but hopefully you know what I mean, right? It makes sense that there's lots of bots on Twitch. It makes sense that there aren't that many on YouTube because YouTube has a different mindset. I think that's the best way to basically say it. YouTube has a different mindset. Oh, we are currently 40 minutes in. My goodness. It doesn't feel like it's 40 minutes. It feels like the hour is already finished. But we still got 20 minutes. That's pretty good. Something else I could talk about, and oh my god, even have this tab still loaded up. So, over the past few days, in excitement for Unlucky Tug's Thomas retrospective video, of which was uploaded earlier today, and I have already watched it. It was a very good video with the format. Basically, just a season overview, which is interesting, but I was hoping he would kind of break it down a bit more. And I don't know, I suppose I'm probably thinking too much of the Ink Tank's Ben 10 breakdowns, of which a new episode was also released for their channel earlier today, and I have watched it. I love the breakdown aspect. Overview of something is cool, but breaking it down and noticing certain things is also very fun. So because of all that excitement, I've been going through Thomas the Tank Engine from the beginning. So I've watched seasons 1, 2, and 3, and I'm currently on season 4, episode 9. RK, see you later. Thanks so much for tuning in for the amount of time that you have. I hope you have a great day, my good sir. So yeah, I'm currently on season 4, episode 9, which is one of the narrow gauge episodes, of course. Season 4, most famous because it focuses all on the narrow gauge engines. Um, I'm not looking forward to when we get to like season 10 onwards, like season 10 to 17. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it because that's where the writing just gets really weird. Season 12, again, it's the model and CGI sort of hybrid where everything's models but CGI faces as well, which is, it looks weird, you know? Mm. I also said to myself, I'm gonna have to kind of watch all of the movies as well, because watching all the seasons is one thing, but when you go from one season to another where there was a movie in the middle, it looks kind of weird because, oh, where did this character come from? Like Blue Mountain Mystery, for example, the introduction of Luke. Well, arbitrary example, it's just a random movie I chose. But when you go to the next season and you see an episode where Luke is featured, you think to yourself, hang on a minute, where did he come from? You know, why is he here all of a sudden? So it makes sense to watch all the films. I have also seen Unlucky Tug's video ranking all of the movies, and some of the, the ones on like the first five he goes through, like the bottom five, they are stinkers, aren't they? Just, oh no, why is Misty Island still canon? It's actually so bad. It's so bad. Not in the case where I just watched his breakdown again, but I actually tried to rewatch it soon after I watched his kind of movie ranking video. Um, Not for the first time, but this was, I don't know, like a few months back, near the beginning of the year. I thought to myself, okay, how bad is Misty Island Rescue? I noticed a few points where he kind of pointed out like certain scenes he would have included in his video. I would recognize that scene and go, oh yeah, this is a part from the breakdowns, and I'll kind of use that to push onwards. But after a while, it's just a bit, oh, I don't want to keep going. It's just so bad. Yeah, it's just, it's going to be something to look forward to because binging all the seasons is going to be fun, but that middle section is going to be something to really push through. I still don't really get how Andrew Brenner wrote The Great Race. I was not too fond of The Great Race. I remember it coming out in 2016, and that was like the next big film. I was very kind of excited for it because I thought The Great Race and all the hype around it, all these new characters being introduced on YouTube, there would be these videos of, here's the Flying Scotsman from the mainland, here's this character from this country. And it was all so much stuff being introduced, and it was really, really exciting. But it's such a shame that it turned out the way that it did. Unlucky Tug also kind of said it really well, and not to kind of use him as the main point in the fandom. He's a fan just like you and I. But there was a point that he did make that was really good. Well, not so much really good, but one that I could understand and kind of relate to. Every time you watch The Great Race, you kind of get a different opinion on it because the whole competition side of it on the tail end of the film is fun. getting up to it is its own sort of mess, and you can enjoy it, but other times you can go, oh, it's just a bit of a drag. Like, you watch it for the first time, you think, yeah, that's cool. Watch it for a second time, you kind of want to skip all the bits and just want to watch the competition stuff itself. Third time you watch it, you want to watch select sections because you want to just go back and remember a few scenes. The fourth time you watch it, you go, yeah, I haven't seen this bit in a while, so let's just watch it all the way through. And again, it does make sense that it goes like that, because the Great Race could have been so much more. I would love to. I don't know if it's a thing out there, but a rewrite of the Great Race, like by a fan, like a remake, a re-upload by a fan for the Great Race in particular, how it focuses on Gordon. There's more focus on the events themselves, where it's just basically a massive locomotion competition. That would be really cool to see. That would be so amazing to witness. But that would be someone who knows how to write a story. That would be someone who could dedicate the time to actually make the film. So it's going to be its own challenge in of itself. But I would love to see a fan recreation of what the Great Race should be. So that Niagara guy says they brought Carlos from Boaba and they did him so wrong. Was that in the Boaba movie then? Because I don't think there was ever a Boaba episode where they went back to America, because I don't think Carlos ever was featured since. Oh, and the jumping bridge. Yeah. Well, that's because toys, the jumping bridge. Let me have a look at that, because I think I also remember seeing that uh, in a toy store. Thomas the Tank Engine jumping bridge toy? Yeah, I think it was the Trackmaster one. Just looking at the pictures that showed up straight away. Yeah, I think I know which one that is, where it's just a big old loop and then... What is that supposed... Is that supposed to be a slide? No, I didn't... Oh, yeah, it is that one, because there's the bridge house with the funnel to catch Thomas. Yeah, that's the toy I'm thinking of. So what's that big... Oh, I see. That connects to the bridge, so it's actually enough to actually jump the bridge. Okay, then. Yeah, Thomas toys. Carlos. Are we thinking of the same one? Carlos. We must be thinking of the same one, because this is the locomotive. I think he was representing Mexico, not necessarily America. Yeah, Carlos of Mexico. Did he return in the Boba film, or did he show up in the Boba series as well? I don't think he appeared in the series following the film, because I don't think he even had any speaking roles. So that's probably why they probably just kept him as a sort of a secondary, what's the word? A non-speaking role character, basically. Oh, I see. And to say that was offensive. Ah, right. Well, in that case, let's move swiftly onwards, because that's not a topic that and they had to cut him out. Well, yeah, there we are then. That's not a good thing to see. Does Green Toby exist? Why would you know what? You say that. I had a thought this morning when I was going through watching some of the Thomas episodes, like alternate liveries for some of the characters. If every character, well, not every character, but if like the main set, what's the word? The main cast. That's what I'm thinking of. Like the main cast, like the first dozen or so characters: Thomas, Edward, Henry, Gordon, James, Toby, Duck, Donald, Douglas, Oliver. Let's say Emily, and we'll throw in a few other characters like Devious Diesel, and a few other ones in particular you might be able to pick out. Bill and Ben, maybe. If they had another livery from like their past working life, what livery would that be? So we know that James had a black and red stripe livery. Thomas was green with white stripes. What will the other characters have? That would be a very interesting thing to see, because maybe you could have these work somewhere. Henry being an linear sort of flawed design would also be an interesting live, like an apple green Henry version, basically, like a slightly brighter shade of green, white stripes with that black stripe in the middle as well, because that looks so smart. TTT Henry doing more live work. We go to the fandom, because what exactly does it say that Henry is based on a flawed design? Oh, I'm going by the answer. Henry's origins are unknown. The story goes that he was built. Oh, go away, advertisements. There we go. So the story goes he was built from drawings stolen from Sir Nigel Gresley in Doncaster in 1919. So it's an experimental locomotive that ultimately failed, but it doesn't say what kind of locomotive. Well, again, we saw the drawing, so it's something similar to an A4 or what would lead to an A3. So I reckon if there was going to be a previous livery for Henry, it would be just in apple green. What about Edward? What's Edward? Well, we'll have to do this in our own time, but that's something I'd love to try and see and figure out, because when you play a video game and you have alternate skins for a character, that could be really fun to unlock. I'm thinking of the old days where is it to? Do I have it down there? I should do. Hang on. Yeah. Whoa. Oh, yes, here we go. So the game I'm thinking of in particular is this one, Rayman Rush. Oh, I love this game so much. I absolutely love it. This is, a lot of people say, oh, this game was my childhood. This game was my childhood. And you could basically unlock skins for the characters. Maybe not this version, but in re-releases you could definitely unlock new skins. And again, going back to that thought I had this morning, after watching some or rewatching the episodes of Thomas, thinking, okay, you know, Thomas and James had different liveries. What about other characters? Because some of them had different working lives. Gordon was an A1 from the LNER and obviously had the A3 modifications. So maybe he had an LNER livery. Maybe he was in apple green one day, and then he comes over to Sodor and he's painted in the Northwestern blue. That'd be interesting to see. What about Edward? Edward's a really old locomotive. Before he came to Sodor, what color was he? Maybe he just showed up in blue anyways. But it's something that's really cool to start thinking about. It gets creative ideas flowing. Oh, I need to. I need to take a moment to breathe. You know, I'm with all this talking, I've got so much air in my lungs. Oh, it kind of hurts a bit, you know. Not too much longer to go until this stream has to finish, but I think I've done all right with being able to keep things going. I've gone through all of my chat notes, which is basically what have I done recently, and yeah, it's actually been a lot more full than I've realised. So I'll tell you what, in regards to having looked at my notes, because right underneath it is the details I need for the coronation coaches, which I could get rid of this table now. I don't really need this anymore. I'll need to keep that list though. Okay, we'll get there. So earlier in the stream, I did say that I would like to try and figure out how to do live running sessions. In turn, I mentioned that the coronation coaches and the entire Coronation Express is in one box. I then followed that up by saying I'm going to be making a box, a dedicated sort of presentation train set style box for the entire Express. I have done prop making videos in the past, and I definitely love the idea of, I might not even be able to use that setup because the box is going to be absolutely massive. I might have to take up the main space. Well, it's definitely going to have to take up the main space because the size of the coaches, it's definitely going to be a much larger scale to, say, one of the Omni, pointing that way. It's technically it's that way. So I can't even do that because it looks weird on camera. So basically that way, despite it being looks like I'm pointing at the mirror, but that way in the back corner, where I've got my Omnitrix props and my Pip Boys and all the smaller things I've crafted, this is going to be something that's going to be a much bigger project. It's going to take up more material, therefore it's going to be something that takes up a lot more space. I can't just do this on the worktop. I'm going to have to use the bedroom floor to make sure I've got everything put together properly. I have a roll of foam as well. I can actually use that. And it's just remembering things as well. I do have... I've also got black faux leather. Okay. Ideas are flowing through, and that's a good thing. But that's more so on the presentation side of things. But yes, I would like to definitely... I can't do so now because it's 9 p.m. If I start digging things out of that area, I'm going to piss off the household. So yeah, I'm definitely getting some ideas for how I want to make this box for the Coronation Express. It's basically a proper what's it called? It's basically a proper model train style box, but the one I'm thinking of is a train set that we have. So 00 gauge. Is it it's a merchant? Well, maybe not merchant navy. Let me see if I can find it, because the way train set. So the way this box looks, it's so exquisite, and I absolutely adore it. And that is exactly how I want my box to be when I make it for my Lego trains. So Bournemouth Bell, is that the one? Hornby Bournemouth Bell train pack. Okay, because again, we have this train set, and the box for it is just amazing. Because it has like 3 layers, and there's drawers, and the drawers have like a very clean, sort of leathery, I don't know if it's leathery, it might just be me thinking that because of the material that I know that I have, but there's like special brass rings to be able to put your finger in order to pull out the drawers. It looks so professionally made. I think this is the one I'm thinking. I might have to look this up on YouTube. I might have to put this in the Discord server and link it to specifically reference what I'm thinking of. Yeah, so I can't quite find it here and now, which is a shame, but oh man, if I can find it, it would be the best thing ever. I'm definitely going to have to make this. Again, that's once the coaches are done, once the entire express is finished, it's lined, I've got the video, so that way I can begin to put it away and kind of keep it safe without having to, make a mess, basically. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited to make a box. That's how excited I am. And by the way, when you're spelling Hornby, include the B. Dearie dear. Okay, we are about to ding 9 o'clock. If anybody has any questions they want to quickly ask before we go, then be sure to ask them now. Otherwise, we will lose the opportunity. You can see chat, that's Niagara guy. Ayo. What do you mean Ayo? With the Hornby without the B? Yeah, well, I spelled it properly when I was doing my searching, so, it's okay. Seth, you made it on the tail end of the stream. I don't know how long you were able to tune in for, but at least it's good to know that you made it. So once you've finished the classics hit Niagara guy, I just seen your other... Look, it's fine, okay? It's fine. I spelled it properly. I promise, okay? My PC is still clean. So Seth, once you finish the classic series, you should watch the Sodor Dark Times series by Trains for Days. Sodor Dark Times. Time for another YouTube search. What's that like? Is it how long are the episodes? How many episodes are there? What are we dealing with? Sodor, the Good Times, Finality. Well, that's definitely the guy for it. So when you say finish the classic series, do you mean finish season 7 or finish the model series altogether? Because there is a difference. The classic series ends at season 7, then it goes into the hit era. But if you mean model era as a whole, that means that's the end until season 12, which is something very different. These episodes seem to be about 2.5 Oh, never mind. There was a few videos that were 2.5 minutes long, and then these nearly hour-long videos. Okay. Well, I suppose I'll have to give that a look. Definitely have to give it a worth some time. How many videos does he have? Well, he doesn't have that many videos. Oh, well, even then, that's fine because there's still plenty to have a look at. Okay, well that's definitely on my search history now, so I can come back to that later on. I would recommend watching The Legend of Bertram by someone. The Legend of Bertram. I watched. Oh, I remember watching that episode when I was a kid, right? Well, maybe not a kid, but definitely when I was much younger. And the sorts. Oh, that episode hasn't even happened yet. There was okay, the one with Bertram where it's Toby at night and he's a bit frightened and that sudden camera movement. Oh man. There was also another episode where is that it? Character gallery Bertram the Old Warrior. That might not be it. But yeah, there's definitely another episode I remember which is I think it's Percy in a similar area and a building just collapses into the ground, right? So as a kid, you see some spooky, misty nighttime scene, and you just see a building just go into the ground. Looking back now, that's actually still really horrifying. But as a kid, you must have shat yourself, man. So it was Legend of Smudger. If the E2 class got upgrades back then, what do you think Thomas would look like? Well, if the E2 class got upgrades, it would probably look like Thomas because the overall E2 class locomotive was massive. It was way too long for what it was. The fuel capacity was not efficient. So the E2 would either have to get rid of its coal bunker and have a tender, or if it was going to stay as a tank engine, it would just have to be shorter. So Thomas would ultimately look the same. But if he was going to be based on a proper E2, I think if the E2 ever got real life modifications, it would be like a tender version. That would be my idea, at least. I just got a notification. Interrupting my stream? What is this? Steam, congratulations, you've received a community. A community thing? The only thing that could be for is for Left 4 Dead. You don't get community rewards for Left 4 Dead. Get out of here, you stupid thing. Right. It is now gone past 9 o'clock. I am now going to end the stream here. I'll give the Legend of Smudger a go. Let me actually type that in now so it's actually in the search history. Legend of Smudger. A Smudger movie. A Smudger movie? That's an hour and a half long. Sad story of Smudger. The search for Smudger. There's a model thing there. Well, there's a few to go through. I wonder which one you mean. I suppose it's whatever one came on top, but that's 12 years old. Yee. But yeah, again, we can have a look around and see what's there. If you want to, link the one that you're on about in the Discord server, ping me, and I'll have a watch. So that way I know I'm watching the right one. That's all. So besides all of that, it is now time to end the stream. We got a stream going, and that is a good thing. It's a shame I couldn't do it when it was supposed to happen, which is basically tomorrow night. But because of interferences and changes at work, sadly, I haven't been able to commit to doing the stream on Saturday night. So again, it's taking place tonight instead. There might be more occasions in the future where a Friday night stream will happen instead of a Saturday night stream. That might be the case next week as well. Again, next Saturday is let me just make sure it is that day. Yeah, it is that day because the 28th is Monday. Alright, that's fine. So next Saturday I am strictly otherwise occupied and I cannot commit to a stream on Saturday night. Maybe I could do one next Friday, which is definitely got the potential for it. but that also relies on work not changing. I am supposed to be working on Friday evenings, so even then I might not get to stream that next week as a whole. The week after, we should be back to normal, and going forwards, we should be able to have, hopefully, some consistent Saturday night live streams. I will figure out a way to try and get something set up for the live running sessions, because that's definitely going to be so much fun to do. But for now, I shall leave you all and crack on with some tidying up, because if you weren't around earlier, basically this is what we scientists call a mess. Can you see that on the bed? Yeah, so all of that's bricklink orders. I need to basically get those in the trays, and that takes a while, especially when you have 4 bricklink orders show up in one day. So yeah, there is that too. So thanks again ever so much for tuning in. I know the time zone for this is still not the best. I am also thinking about trying to swap the time zones as a whole. So instead of trying to do one slightly later or slightly earlier in the evenings, I might try doing one in the morning. That way I can absolutely guarantee I'm doing it every Saturday. But again, the whole time zone thing, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing it to where other people are able to tune in. So as these streams go on, we are going to try and develop things further. But for now, we're still early stages. This is still only my 3rd live stream, so to say things are set in stone, I can't really say that anyways. So thanks again all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Thanks again. Take care.